Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Greenskins led by Useful Toaster facing off against the Ogre Kingdoms, who shall be helmed by Toxic Cows here on the excavation site. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you, the big dog is back, baby. It's going to be Grimgor Ironhide. So, for the Greenskin army, really using a old school style of play. In the early days of Immortal Empires, when we first started seeing the old factions face the new factions in Warhammer 3, Biggins were pretty popular against Ogres, or at least were used a lot. I can't speak to their efficacy because that was literally a million years ago, but in theory, they can kill Noblars pretty quickly and also do have anti-large against the Bulls. So we'll see how they do, but in my experience, I remember trying it a few times and kind of struggling. I found that they just get tar pitted and then just either shot or trappers get them, or the Bulls don't take enough damage when they're stacked on Noblars, but really curious to see how the big old Biggins can do. Orc Boys backed up by Error Boys, not bad at all. You know, Error's pretty good against the Ogres, and yeah, they can put in some work. Wolf Riders, I really like this here from Useful Toaster. I think it's one of the most effective ways to get the early Greenskin board control. Goblin Wolf Riders are only 300 gold and they have 4 capture weight. It's a steal and a half, man. You get those bad boys out on the board, and then in the late game, you can use them to fight off Saber Tusks, dive Blood Vultures, you know, clear off Noblars with some flanks. Yeah, it's not bad at all. So he's going to be triple capping his opponent here. Now, Toxic Cow, going to be coming in with a very Chadley build as well, and I think he was expecting Black Orcs. Yeah, look at this. Homie coming in with mass Iron Gut, dude. Yeah, don't hate it. Iron Guts are one of the cooler units in the game, so he's got 4 of those guys. And then we do also have the Slaughtermaster of Death with Spirit Leech, Buna, and Doom and Darkness. A good spell kit, honestly. Spirit Leech Bam on Grimgor is good, and Buna, you know, Broken Tusk Mob, Black Orcs, whatever. But dude, he was really expecting a big old Black Orc build, which he would have been prepared. Iron Guts beat the brakes off Black Orc, so yeah, that would be good. All right, guys, the battle is soon to be on. Magic for the Greenskins is going to be a Night Goblin Shaman, and he does have the Snare ability as well as Sneaky Stabbin'. Now we're going to get the players postured up, ready to go, and they're going to be duking it out in the middle. And yeah, classic stuff. Now, one thing that would be very, very tricky for the Greenskins would be facing off against Lead Belchers. Man, Lead Belchers on this map are pretty brutal because you just park them on this like space here. It's all open shooting, and then it's pretty easy to deny this flank with the Ogres, right? But yeah, you know, the Ogres are hungry. You know, it's not they don't want to blow up their food, right? It's kind of an interesting thing. They just want to, you know, get fisticuffs and tenderize the meat a little bit. They don't want to, like, you know, blast it into bits with their Lead Belchers, I suppose. So that's going to be the plan. Time for some mushrooms, and Wolf Riders here just creeping in the shadows, and we do also see some Broken Tusk Mob coming out as well. While the 2 players getting ready to fight here, Greenskins are going to be piling in to engage as Chadgor Ironhide prepares himself. And here comes the first wave of conflict. It's going to be Iron Guts versus Biggins. Biggins did not get the charge bonus, unfortunate for them. But, you know, they're like almost as big as the Ogres, really, when you see them standing side to side. I mean, they're about, like, you know, just over waist height, which is pretty massive, right? And the Biggins putting a little bit of hurt down. Grimgor going to be piling in to help. Orc Boys engaging versus the Noblars. And ladies and gentlemen, Sky Striders and Blood Vultures waiting in the wings, getting ready to fight there. Error Boys, Ruglad's Armored Orcs, a really good choice. Just put the firepower down into the Bulls, or maybe go after the Noblar Trappers who try and wear them down. Noblar Trappers are not a cheap unit. They're like 500 gold or so, give or take, I think. So certainly is a good idea to shoot them. But it looks like they have like just like kind of a good old-fashioned brawl in the middle, and a very awkward flank engagement where both players are just waiting on bated breath, deciding who's going to be getting in and attacking here. Acid Burpa moving on in. He is cruising, he is bruising, and this big dog is ready to go. He's just like, what's going on here? Oh, I guess some food's going to walk into my mouth. So the Ogres are on their way over, and they will have a bad time. It looks like they immediately get terror-routed by the Acid Burper. Look, dude, I don't blame you. I don't care if you're like a hardened fighter or whatever. If this shit just rolled up on you on the battlefield, like, no thank you. No thank you. I don't care how battle-hardened or badass you think you are. That would just suck. All right. So over here, we do see the Gorkle Fix-It used on the Blood Vultures to slow them down. The Boar Boy Biggins engaging versus Sky Striders, but they have Orc Boy support, so not the worst thing in the world. But the Ogre Cav should be winning this fight most likely. Just Sky Striders cost 2,300, for example, and the Broken Tusk Mob are like almost 1,000 less, if not more than 1,000 less, actually. So here comes the Biggins. They're going to be saturating in. The Sneaky Stabbin' giving them a much better fight here. You can see the trade actually not terrible. And the Wolf Riders, like I said, being used to peel for your backfield, which is quite nice. And if the Ogres did, of course, have Lead Belchers, so you could use them for a little bit of diving as well. So Grimgor getting in the mix, going to be boinking down the Slaughtermaster of Death. So he is getting in there with his big old axe Gitsnick and having a good old time. And yeah, actually connecting. And the Ogres do have Meat Feast, but we don't see Troll Guts in this build. So big man Acid Burpa going to be dropping the Atomic Farts, the Taco Bell Farts here, onto the face of the Noblars. And it is doing some work, wavering -5 leadership. And the Somersault of Doom, it's so funny how in Total War how relevant animations are. Like, some units like have good stat lines, but their animations are so terrible that it puts them in bad positions or it doesn't connect as effectively. It's like a really janky aspect of Total War competitive. But over here, I think that the Greenskins, of course, lost the Cav fight, but the Sky Striders did pretty good, considering they were against Biggins on the ground too. And another Boar Boy Biggins going to be coming in. Sweet Pig! So they get in there, the Pig calls are on. The Sky Striders, though, a very Chadley unit, are going to be getting worn down most likely and paying the iron price. So looking at the macro element of the battlefield, objective 1 to the Greenskins, 2 to the Ogres, and 3 is actually being ninja'd, but we do see another Mournfang Cav coming in with Iron Fist, so those guys are going to be coming down from the high ground while the Acid Burpa continues burping, and yeah, just enjoying itself, man. Slaughtermaster of Death going to be getting a Spirit Leech on it. A good choice. You know, a Spirit Leech, a big part of it is either you want to cast it on something you know you can finish off soon, or keep it on the same target perpetually to get that long-term value back, right, and eventually finish it off. I've seen a lot of games where people are just like very flippant with the Spirit Leeches. They just kind of like blast it in random directions impulsively, and then it doesn't really, you know, get as much done as it likely should. Boar Boy Biggins coming into the back, and we do see the Morgub's Magi Marauders going to be kiting back, so these little gremlins going to be fleeing. And this is a big win for the Greenskins, right? Because the Haggard Mournfang Cav are basically here being kited by a dirt cheap unit, and they're quite expensive. And it also bought the time of the objective here, it looks like. Yeah, the Greenskins are on their way in with the Boar Boys. Maybe they'll be able to grab that. So back in the epicenter of combat, we do see Grimgor Ironhide getting in the mix. You're next activated, so now it's time. And he's got his homie with him, man. Grimgor's got his best friend, his big squig pet. And I wonder how Grimgor feels about squigs. Like, I wonder how orcs feel about squigs in general, like what their like opinion is of them. I don't know. They probably are like, well, it's going to get me into a fight. I'll take it. Back on the backside here, Greenskins holding on to the objective. Ogre's not really threatening it. It looks like the entire flank pressure coming in from the Sky Striders has finally been worn out. I think these Sky Striders have a couple models left, but really aren't going to be contributing too much. Iron Gut's still going here too, but yeah, they probably won't be too big of a variable going forward. Right here, the Orc Boar Boy Biggins going to be grabbing objective number 3, and the Slaughtermaster is playing a really dangerous game. Homie better be careful. These Boar Boy Biggins could absolutely flatline him if they decide to charge in there. We're going to see if they decide to. Although there are some Mournfang Cav coming in, so maybe it'll be a bit of a fair fight. And if he has Fade Abuna would just crush this position, which would actually be very good. So the Boar Boy Biggins get the objective. Looking at the objective situation, the Greenskins have objective 1, and then they have objective 3 on the outside. But it's looking dodgy, as we do see Toxic Cows coming in with Boggulars of the Mad Marshes, and then also some Ogre Bulls and some Nobblar Chaff units. And the Mournfang Cav are these Iron Fists. They're not anti-large ones. Not going to be like exceptional against the Boar Boys, but also not terrible. With the Slaughtermaster there, they'll for sure win that fight. Grimgor just anchoring it in the middle, man, fighting against these big Cav units and getting knocked over, of course. Hey, man, can you blame him? I mean, these are like giant, like rhinos, dude. And he gets back up, you know, shakes it off, and it's going to be getting Gitsnick in there, and let's see if he can take one down. The defense holds up for the Crushers. Oh, these are Crushers. These are expensive units. But yeah, Grimgor's in good shape still. He's hanging in there. Yep, takes one down right there. The biggest and the baddest. Certainly living up to his name as he does fight in the middle here. Outside objective, owned by Greenskins. Baconators coming in, rear charging these Nobblar Trappers that are supported by Night Goblin, Big Boss. Ogres have a little bit of a resurgence right here. They have a fair amount of units and a lot of units going down over here. So I think what's going to happen is the battle is going to go back to its roots, where we're going to see the Greenskins standing on objective 1, calling in reinforcements from their western spawn, and the Ogres are going to be coming down from their hill, basically, and just the hill tribes, yes. And it's going to be less sporadic fighting all across the battlefield and more of a consolidated fight in the middle. But Grimgor is, you know, he's a grindy guy, you know. 1,300 value so far on him, not too bad. I mean, honestly, getting pretty close to paying for himself as he does get in there and begins the bump and grind. The Goblin Big Boss and the reinforcements there get bullied a little bit, but with Orc Boys and Biggins coming in, we'll see how this battle goes. But yeah, Ogres are a menace with capture weight, man. Very tough faction to uproot. Well, the Morgub's Magi Marauders probably getting like 800, 900 value right now. Yeah, 878. Dude, still got it, baby. Still got it. But yes, they get in there. The Mournfang Cav are getting worn down by the armor-piercing shots. They have 17 damage, 10 of which does AP, so it's not bad at all, honestly. Arrow Boys, for example, have like 6 armor-piercing, so they definitely punch through the armor much better. And the Mournfang Cav do get routed off there. Will the second wind of Biggins and like sustainable infantry that are coming in for the Greenskins be enough to get past the wall of the Chungus Kingdoms? Now, what are the big ogres going to be calling in? I'm looking for their reinforcements. I think he's saving up for Sky Striders again, just to try and bunker bust his opponent. The Sky Striders are just a general menace. They're a tough unit to get through. Sneaky Stabbin' activated, Orc Biggins in the mix versus Iron Guts. Not going to be having a terrible time, honestly. That bonus versus large is going to be incredibly relevant here, as they do get the L-Boink in there. And, yeah, we're probably going to be seeing these Iron Guts get shaken and stirred and broken here in just a minute. Grimgor in the middle, hanging in there, still at 5,000 HP. So last time we looked, he was at about 6,000, so he hasn't taken a whole lot. And the Blood Vulture is shaken. Sitting at 4 leadership, not going to be able to probably get through those air boys. And a little bit of a flank push coming in. A bold strategy cotton from the Saber Tusk packs. They should be countered pretty hard by the Broken Tusk mob, I would wager. So if Useful Toaster moves his Broken Tusk mob over, he's going to be able to intercept those guys pretty effectively. And we do see the Saber Tusk jumping at the Rugled, Savage Orc air boys, and maybe they're going to be able to hold that position. We'll see. Grimgor Chadhide doing it, man. The Orcish Infantry, the Wog, the late game grind getting in there. Usually Greenskins aren't a super good late game faction. I would say that's one of their weak points, actually. But in this case, they're looking pretty okay. With Grimgor being able to anchor them in the middle, that's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. He's hanging in there like an absolute Chad. Morgubs need to be unsummoned on the other side. Currently, it is still not a triple cap situation yet for the Greenskins. They have a little bit of time left, and we do see the big dog. Oh, he got a little crazy. Grimgor popping your next on him, and yeah, he absolutely is next, as he is getting slaughtered by Grimgor and his biggins. It looks like the big dog going to be trying to run away right now. He does break, and is there going to be anything to chase him down? Oh, dude, please use Gorkle Fix-It on him so Grimgor can catch him. Grimgor, of course, very slow, but he did bully that Lord, and now the Ogre Lord's going to pay the price, and I think the Greenskins might be taking over the game with that slaughtering right there. The Mass Greenskin Infantry doing very well. Saber Tusk's doing all right here, but Biggin's going to be able to secure that point very easily. And we do see the Ogre Lord now getting hammered by the Boar Boy Biggins. Anti-large attacks coming in, and is he just going to let him run and just focus on the middle? Totally viable. But yes, the Orcs will win on just 2, and I think they just have too many infantry. And we do see the value lead for Useful Toaster is in. Crushers are good and all, but they're anti-large, and there's so many infantry they need to deal with. That's the problem, right? They do very well against the Broken Tusk Mob here. We do see the Ogre Lord getting pounded, so he's at a little bit of HP here, but the Broken Tusk Mob engages against the Crushers, and this guy's probably going to shatter, right? He's not looking good at 260. Oh, Big Papa's coming. It looks like he's clicking on the Crushers, unfortunately. I wanted the cinematic karate chop of the Ogre Lord. That'd be very fun. But yeah, the Greenskin Infantry with the Wog here are going to annihilate these Noblars. It's not even going to be close. Although there are some Iron Guts in the mix, or no, just basic Ogre Bulls. Okay, so they're going to have a bad time versus Biggins. Biggins are like designed to kill Ogre Bulls. 269 HP, that's what she said, and the Crushers here hanging in there, doing very, very well. Grimgor is going to start picking off models here in a minute, I would imagine. And here the Biggins do arrive, and they are clearing through the Saber Tusk packs very effectively. So yeah, the Biggin pick not looking terrible here from Useful Toaster. A lot of that is because his opponent didn't bring Lead Belchers too, though. Like a more meta Ogre build would have just like hunkered down to this hill, let you have the middle, and Lead Belcher slow push you. But yeah, regardless, the Biggins did pretty good. They did pretty good. All right, Slaughtermaster is going to be on the run, boys, as the Crushers do a very, very good job with Blood Vulture support. Greenskins also gremlining the outside objective with my beloved Wolf Riders here, and if he, oh man, if he remembered he had these units, Morgubs could come down here and provide another 4 capture weight, like 3.5 at this point, but be very, very good. Ogre Bull's on the way out, and Grimgor is going to be heading back towards the middle. Biggin's pretty much going to be guaranteeing that point, and if we see a triple cap, I think that's going to be it. I don't think the Ogres will have any chance to get back. They're just going to fall behind on points, right? Well, getting triple capped at this point in the game when your like opponent is 300 points away from winning is really, really tough. That's just like a minute and 40 seconds that you have left. All right, Goblins fighting here, and yeah, we do see the Crushers coming in, but good luck getting through all these infantry. It's going to be tough. Sneaky Stabbing activated. I don't think Biggins are one for like sneaky things, but yeah, they look really cool and are going to be getting in there and fighting the good fight as Grimgor waddles across, gets ready to boink those Crushers down, and ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I think that is going to be all she wrote. The objective here does get held, though, but as far as the mainline fighting goes, oh, look at the poor Squig. It's so sad. Look at him here. He's like, oh, this is like me after I eat like 50 pierogies. All right, so big karate chop coming in from Grimgor. Crushers are afflicted by Gorkle Fix-It. Biggin's taking a lot of damage from them. Crushers are an 1,800 gold unit, but there's more where that came from, and I would imagine the Greenskins are going to be reinforcing with some more Biggin units, so they're going to be coming across. For sure, what he should do right now is Useful Toaster should rotate his... Like, typically when you call in a slow reinforcement like this and there's no threat here, what you want to do is rotate your defenders over to the other objective and then send these guys to guard this back point here. Because then by the time your opponent sees it as an opportunity, your reinforcements are there, and then you get quicker reinforcing in the middle there. So that's what you would want to do. But yeah, Crusher's getting taken to Pound Town. I don't think there's anything the Ogres can do. He's triple capped on the other side as well. Pump Wagon's coming in to run over the Noblars. And ladies and gentlemen, the biggest and the baddest has gotten it done. You gotta love it. Super cool. So yeah, off-meta builds from both players, but it made for a fun game, right? It wasn't the typical Lead Belchers. It wasn't the, classic, I don't even know who would be meta. Probably a Goblin Grey Shaman in this matchup would be very good. Although the Spider is vulnerable. Ironically, with Greenskins, you can go with like 2 Doomdiver catapults to counter the frickin' Lead Belchers, but it's still tricky. It's hard to defend against Vultures and Ogre units, so yeah, good game. Well played. Big Heavy Cav coming in. 3,500 value on those Crushers. God damn, I think they were summoned twice. Sky Striders didn't quite pay for themselves. And Chadgor Ironhide, 1,200 here. And Chadgor got 2,400, dude. Awesome. What's not to love? See you guys around. Well played to Toaster and Toxic Cows. We'll see you on the other side, my friends.